8 ways that anxiety shows up as something else in your life. I'm Dr. Trish Lee. In this video, we are going to do 3 things. Number 1, let's talk about what anxiety feels like in your mind, your body, and your brain. Secondly, we're going to go through the list of the 8 ways that anxiety shows up in unexpected ways. Then, of course, number 3, we're going to discuss your brain hack for the day. And actually, it's a 2-part brain hack today. And this video is the first in a 2-part series. So stay tuned for Thursday, because on Thursday, there's going to be a second part in which I give you brain hacks to reduce, decrease, and get rid of anxiety once and for all using nature, nurture, and navigation. So stay tuned till Thursday. All right, let's dig in. Number 1, what is anxiety in your mind, your body, and your brain? Let's start with your mind. This one probably resonates the most with you. You know what anxiety feels like in your mind: constant rumination, it's excessive worry about things in your life. It might feel like complete overwhelm that you cannot handle what is going on with you. And like I've already said, it might have to do with things in your life, which can be environmental or situational. And we're going to think about that in just a bit. Number 2, how does it show up in your body? It might show up as your heart racing. It might show up as muscle tension, fast breathing. You can feel it in your body. Like the famous book says, the body keeps the score. So it will manifest in physiological ways, but it's coming from your brain, number 3. So what's going on in your brain? When you feel anxiety, your brain is running extra fast, very, very, very fast speed. So the speed in your brain can go faster, and it's called high beta. You're using lots of high beta, and high beta can be at 20 hertz fast. It can be at 30 hertz cycles per second, even faster. It can be at 50 hertz, even faster, 60 hertz, even faster than that, which my hands can't do. So there's fastness, and secondarily, there's magnitude of that fastness. So your brain can be going triply fast, and it can be using the triple fastness 3 times as much. So when your brain is using all this fast speed, and when it is using a lot of it, you feel anxious. That's what gives you the racing heart rate. That's what gives you the fast breathing. That's what gives you the buzzing or the tingling that you literally might feel in your body. It changes the electromagnetic field of your body. And in doing so, it perpetuates and keeps that feeling of your mind and body going, because your brain will keep going faster. It creates a negative feedback loop. Okay, so we're going to talk about what to do about that in just a minute. But secondarily, let's talk about the 8 ways that fast speed, too much fast speed, can show up in your life. Number 1, anger and irritability. When your brain's going really fast, it's very difficult to deal with the things that are going on. So you might default to anger and irritability and blowing off that steam and taking things out on people, or you might not. You might do the opposite. You might bottle it up, and you might stockpile. Stockpile is the term for when you let all of that negative, high, fast energy just fester on the inside while you're bottling it up. So you might offload it in anger and irritability, or bottle it up in stockpiling. Number 2 is likely you'll have difficulty sleeping. Sleep mode is the polar opposite of this extra fast speed. It's extra slow speed, lots and lots of extra slow speed, which basically knocks out your mind and your body. So if you're over here on the other end of the spectrum using lots of extra fast speed, it will be very difficult for you to fall and stay asleep. It will also be very difficult for you to concentrate. That's number 3, difficulty concentrating. Concentrating requires your brain to get in the medium speed of calm focus. If you're all the way over here, you will not be able to concentrate and do your best thinking. It may result in number 4, defiance. If you're building up all this high, fast energy inside, It may manifest as no way am I doing those things. It's a way to control all this high, fast energy. So it's like, I'm not following the rules. I'm not doing that. When your system is going so fast, it feels out of control. It creates the feeling of overwhelm. When you get overwhelmed, you feel out of control and you want to get control back in your life, and it may manifest as defiance. It may manifest in a different way in terms of over planning or clinging. Again, looking for that control. So this is number 5. You might try to plan your life and get more control over the things that you can control, because if your environment or the situations that you're in that are causing anxiety feel like they're out of your control, you will try to get control where control can be taken. And that might be in planning, that might be going to someone who makes you feel safe and becoming more clingy. It's a compensatory strategy, and that does not come with judgment. It's a way for your nervous system to feel safe in a very unsafe, hypervigilant mode of all this extra brain speed. Okay, now we're on number 6. It may change your eating habits. It literally may show up in your body as stomach aches or not feeling well, which will make it so that you won't have an appetite. So especially if you're a parent of a child who hasn't been eating and has been complaining of stomach aches, it might be a good idea to dig into what is going on, if there's a stressor or if there's anxiety building, because what we're talking about in this video is that anxiety manifests in ways that you might not be looking for. So if you see anger, if you see more defiance in your kiddo or in your partner, recognize this could be a manifestation of anxiety that the person is trying to hide or to cope with themselves. And when you do have anxiety and you connect with another emotionally healthy person, they can co-regulate you and help you move through the situation. So getting connected can be really important, not bottling it up, so that it doesn't impact your digestive system because of all that stockpiling in the body. Okay, number 7 is negative thoughts, going dark side. I was trying to remember where I got the term dark side from. It is from the movie with Jay Baruchel, I think that's how you say his name. She's Out of My League. What a great movie. It's really funny. And in there, his friend says that he will go dark side so fast that, they won't even see it coming. And I say that, a lot of movie lines in my life. And what this means is, like, if you find that you, or again, somebody in your life has a lot of negative thoughts, they are going dark side. That high, fast energy is showing up as negativity. Positivity is here in the middle. Calm focus exudes positivity. All this high, fast energy projects negativity. So especially if you're feeling more negative, or if someone in your life keeps making a lot of negative comments, it might be a sign of brewing anxiety under the surface. Okay, and the last one is chandeliering. Chandeliering is a term that we use that means that after stockpiling and building up all this high, fast energy, it explodes in one ragey instance where it doesn't even seem to deserve that level of a reaction. So an example might be you drop a cup and you break it and you completely freak out, and then you start bawling, and then you start lashing out at everybody and blaming, and you're just having a fit over something that doesn't need to have a fit. It's because you've been letting all that anxiety bottle up. And so clearly that is not good for you. So let's move into number 3, what your brain hack for today is. Now, I've already told you we're going to continue this series on Thursday with the solutions to get rid of anxiety. So your brain hack today is designed to increase your self-awareness. Then I'll give you the strategies on Thursday to bring the anxiety down once you've had time to reflect on what is going on in your life. So this is the brain hack for the day. Get out that pleather journal or that beautiful journal that you've bought to write down your transformational journey from unhealthy brain and life that might be dragging you down to the healthiest brain that is allowing you to thrive and not survive. In the journal, think about if you've acted out in these 8 ways anytime recently. And if you're aware of anxiety in your life, or if it's just building up and you're dealing with it so well, you're not even aware that you are dealing with a lot of anxiety, that in fact it is impacting you. So First, think about these 8 things. Write where in your life you see yourself using these patterns so that you can begin to understand your feelings. Yep, the F word, I said it. Feelings. Now, I know so many of us don't want to even acknowledge that feelings exist, never mind look at them, never mind deal with them, but it is the way out. When you figure out how you feel about the environments, the situations, the things that you're dealing with, that's the solution. The solution lies where the problem is, which means when you look at how you feel about something, so let's just say going to work tortures you because you have a coworker who's so annoying you can't deal with them all day long and you don't like your job. So now that environment of your job is a stressor and it's giving you a lot of anxiety, and then every time you interact with that coworker, it's spiking your anxiety more. And I actually just showed someone their brain graph showing them on their work days, their brain was off the chain with anxiety. On the days off, their brain was much more relaxed in the calm focus zone. And as I was sharing this with this person, they told me they worked in this job for 3 years and found it so stressful to deal with. If you're listening, hello. And they told me that they just quit their job. They couldn't deal with it anymore. And when we reviewed the brain graphs, they were feeling very good about making that decision, as was I, because clearly that's an environment that's putting their brain into this anxious survival mode, which will make it so that they couldn't thrive. So think about when you feel this way when you're acting out, and try to get to the root of what you're feeling. Then feeling allows you to think about it. I don't want you to overthink about it because that's another way that anxiety manifests itself. But getting to solution, thinking about it so that you can actually get to a solution, then acting on that thought. So it's feeling to thinking to acting, taking a new action step. So perhaps you go into work and you request that your desk is changed and move away from your coworker so that you can have more time to concentrate. Perhaps you change your schedule so you're no longer working the same shifts with that person. That's a coping mechanism for anxiety or for situational anxiety. Coping is one part of the equation. Changing the actual stressors is the other. So if you don't like your job, maybe it's time to evaluate your job. And it doesn't mean you quit without a plan. You make a plan and you level yourself up to a healthier environment. Okay, so as we wrap this up, what I want you to think about are these 3 concepts, because this is what we're going to talk about on Thursday. There's nature, nurture, and navigate. Nature is how your brain is performing. So if your baseline anxiety level is high, we need to do something about that. And we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can change your baseline anxiety level on Thursday. Secondly is, so that's nature. Secondly is nurture, your environment. I'm going to share 3 ways that you can change your environment so that you can improve your brain and have less anxiety. Lastly is navigate, how you navigate your nature and your nurture, your responses to how you're moving through this life of yours. So we'll break those down. So there's going to be 9 brain hacks in 3 different categories. So join me then, because we're going to continue to decrease anxiety so you can rock out your best life. Okay, I hope to see you there. And remember, if you need help on this journey, please reach out to me, drtrishlee.com. I have programs of different shapes and sizes to be able to help you. Okay, until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.